is so concerned about the rights and freedom of these murderous criminals. After 5 years in prison, everyone forgets the victim. The prisoner's rights is what make him fame. 1994 was a good one because a killer named Solomon, they set him free and he killed again. Make him pay the same way he slay me. I hear they begging for mercy, I hear they pleading for sympathy. The same sympathy that brutal murderer didn't show me. So now I'm begging society, execute the capital penalty in memory of me and the souls in this victim story. Remember me, the murdered one, me, buried dead and gone, me, cut down in my prime, me, and his wicked crime. So when the killer cry for mercy, before you go all soft with pity, just remember this victim story. I have been lying in restless slumber after dying a dreadful death. I was a victim, you might remember. A murderous cutlass took away my breath. The trial found him guilty, but he's not been sent to join me. And now they say his life might be saved. Something about Pratt and Morgan, now the hangman cannot function. That's why I'm crying out from my grave. Make him pay the same way he slay me. I hear they begging for mercy, I hear they pleading for sympathy. The same sympathy that brutal murderer didn't show me. So now I'm begging society, execute the capital penalty in memory of me and the souls in this victim story. Remember me, the murdered one, me, buried dead and gone, me, cut down in my prime, me, and his wicked crime. So when the killers cry for mercy, before you go all soft with pity, just remember this victim story.
How you mean move, boy?
Well, a special good night to all our viewers here on the platform. We are on earlier than usual, and I just want to greet everybody. Welcome to the platform. All right. And Miss Catherine Charles, long time no see. All right. Greetings, my friends. Welcome to another Caribbean American news media platform. We are bringing to you the news as it is. And so we are so happy to have you here with us on this platform. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight is just fun, nothing special. We are just going to be all over the place talking on different issues. And so I invite you, my friends, to call. Those of you who can call the platform. Let's have a discussion as to what is happening in your community, what is happening on the job, what is happening at our government institutions that are there to protect you and I. All right. So please share the live as you join us. Please share the live. It's very important that you share the live. All right. One thing excellent, you can share live la tupatu. everywhere. Yes. But we're together and we're happy to be with you. Sabina, how are you? Good evening to you. Christine, how are you? Christine, hope all is well. Mary Shalmine, greetings to you. Alice Gibson from Grenada, my friend over in Grenada, welcome. Welcome to the platform. Hope, how are you? Hope, greetings to you. And BBDD, always on fire. Elizabeth, Alfred, how are you doing? Joseph, how are you? Yes. Jennifer Francis, greetings to you, my lovely friend. Duncan, how are you? Yes, Esther Joseph, Thomas Moses. Thomas, where are you viewing us from? Are you viewing us from Canada or the United States? Greetings to you, Thomas Moses, greetings to you. And to those of you over on our chat room, we are still waiting for the chat to be uploaded over there in the chat room. We're not seeing any greetings over there as yet, but our folks are logged in to the platform. I am not sure if I messed with the settings over there. I hope I did not do anything over on that platform and you are blocked from commenting. I have a habit of doing that ever so often by mistake. But greetings, my friends. I know many are watching the evening news, and so we're going to have a start. We're going to be here. Okay, good. Gloriana, good night to you. Good night to you, my friend. Yes. And my friend M from Texas, how are you? Greetings. Yes. To all those who are locked into our network over on YouTube, and also you are locked in on our Facebook page, and we are also, I have not activated that new platform, but we are also streaming. We did a test today. We are streaming through the radio apps, the different radio apps that are available, and so we will let you know when you can listen. We are going to be having 24 hours radio broadcast, 24 hours radio broadcast right here on this platform. And so that's what we have been working on lately. So we are almost there. We are still creating the platform. We are still creating the schedule over there. All right. And the good news is that I had conversation with Dr. Secret sometime last week, and we're hoping to get him on as soon as we can. There's some stuff that we need to get over to St. Lucia for him, some lighting and some other system. And so we are still encouraging you, friends, to use the star system and also use our Buy Me a Coffee or Buy Me a Book link. The reason for those two links, they are to support those persons that we are bringing on to the platform. As I told you before, I do not want to bring Dr. Secret on and we cannot help him with his electricity, help him with his internet. It would not be fair to him. And all that is us, both Dr. Secret, myself, and many others, sacrificing to be here with you, friends. So the least you can do is to lend your support to us so that we can maintain the program. That's why radio stations have sponsors and got to do certain event in order to maintain their broadcast. All right, so I don't need anything really, but what I want to do is to ensure that when we bring Dr. Secret onto the platform, and also when we bring back the other program, which is Keeping It Real 758, then we want to be able to maintain it. We don't want to start and stop. We want to continue keeping that fire ablaze so that, you know, the people of St. Lucia will be informed. And yes, while you're being informed, you're enjoying yourself, you're having fun and stuff like that. And also I'm concerned, as you know, about the spiritual man, your spirituality. So please, those of you who have the ability to support the the buy me a book or buy me a coffee link, which is under the platform and the star system. Use it as often as we broadcast so that we can see the pattern, so that when we bring him on, Dr. Secret, then we know we can have that steady wiring of transfer to him so that we can have beautiful program here on our platform. Gojmoka sec. So when not that I really need a break, you know me. Dr. Secret can do the job. Bon, let me continue greeting my people of before I get into trouble. Oh. Esther, greetings to you. Cooley James, Saka Fett, darling. Cooley James. Let me tell you something. Cooley James is a real. By the way, everybody's flabble. All those who on the platform, ain't no real and fake. Everybody's flabble. You hear me? I not in the real and fake thing. No tutse yon. Uchekli, me uwe Cooley James. Cooley James say yo balance money. Ma. She love her country and she love her party. Yeah. Vidal, how are you? Meander, good to see you. Yes. Cooley James, yes, that's you. Esther Joseph, how are you? It's going on 3 days. Wasco took water in Dennery. Is that Dennery North? Let me know, Esther Joseph. So we have to deal with Wasco. No water in Dennery. And that is for what? For how long you said? 3 days. So let us know if it is Dennery South. All right. Tonight is open mic. So folks, you can call right now. The lines are open. I don't have much to say. The lines are open and we're going to get to work. All right. Any discussion you want to have. Flora, how are you? Hey, my friend Ellis, Dr. Ellis. Greetings to you, my friend. Greetings. Cooley James, you still want your good night back? Good evening back? I ain't giving it back. Once you give it to me, it's gone, Cooley James. Eva Blake, how are you? Sabina, yes. And Ian, how are you? Ian, long time I've not seen you. We'll have to send the SSU for you. We have not seen you on the platform in a while. So welcome. I know we spoke this week, but greetings to you, my friend. Hi, May, how are you? May, hope all is well. Yes, Ronald, greetings. Dennery South. All right, Dennery South. Anybody who play with my Dennery South, you are talking, I'm not playing by Dennery South. No, man, I ain't taking that kind of stuff because I have suffered under the whole Wasco thing of no water. I suffered badly living in Dennery. Look at how, it's 20 years after, people are still complaining with water issues in Dennery. And what you have, a bunch of politicians just walking around bluffing, just driving around. And this is what I speak about. People voting, individuals voting on the issues. We had that water problem for a long time. There were times when the water was not even clean. It was not even, and the sad thing is that these guys send you a bill. They send you a bill. Exupape, you ka kupo. Wasco ka coupe plimoun sent lisi mo do, me say. Ek no fa rien about ça. No pa fa rien about ça, me say. Nobody is striking, nobody is speaking up and say enough is enough, Wasco. They cut you quickly. When it's time for reconnection, they put you through hell. And when they reconnect you after they cut you, la panic glow. So I think all St. Lucia's need to just coupe Wasco. Just cut Wasco. Take your bucket, go by the river. Yeah. Or wait for the rain. My God, Wasco. How can people survive without water for 3 days? Sometimes these people have sick relatives in the home. St. Lucia is not a cold country. It's a hot country. People sweat. Munka sway. De le moun ka sati chicken back ek hawa so. Yo ni pou beyen. Ou check li? So wasko awa. Ma ajwek se moun mwen denri. Coupe tout sel zak afe. Y'all they like bakers. Wise me. Anyway, let's continue greeting our people. Sunday, after all the rain, Wasco took the water. So, Joseph, I don't understand. Not to say it's dry weather, they're getting no rain. As soon as rain fall, they cut in the water. How is that making sense? And you scarcely in the house hear these politicians debating anything to do with Wasco, you know. All they do is appoint their friends and their relatives as directors, give them little jobs at Wasco. But nobody is complaining, nobody is talking, no politician. Why? Because they have their big tanks, they don't care, everything is good with them. So they don't care a hoot about you, and I keep telling you that, St. Lucians. They didn't care about you. Aaron, how are you? Eva said, not me they cut, you know. My mem. Eva, don't make them cut you. Raymond, sad, yes. Angeli, how are you? Great. No, but it's true. People are suffering, man. Anyway, let's go to a clip and then the phone lines are open. Phone lines are open, friends. You can call when you want. Life man, how are you? Let me read what I'm going to read your comments, you know, folks. Tonight is open mic, open night, folks. Call, we're discussing anything. Okay, let's read what Life Man said. He says, don't forget, PIPS PJP has passed Financial Slave Act, a 2.5 levy on top of the 12.5% VAT Kenny Bernard implemented. Well, you're right. 2.5% burden on the people of St. Lucia. Huh? Maji to sell Wasco Cafe. Maji to sell SLP Cafe. And we have, Raymond is asking me if I remember. You got to refresh my memory. Where are you from? Cassius Raymond. Try to refresh my memory. Let me see if I can. Where are you from, sir? Lakai. I'm trying to see if I remember you, you know, because listen to me, man, my memory as I get older, it's in a mess. Malcolm, how is Miku? Greetings from the valley. I know the Raymonds there in the valley in Denry. Okay, after the program, I'll look you up and try to refresh myself. But greetings, welcome to the platform. Walreed, greetings to you. Eva, howdy. So, Eva, you want us to call Shazzy and ask him to give us information on school supplies. He said he was accumulating. So, Shazzy has school supplies that he promised you that he was going to supply. Yes, he did. Well, Shazzy, you got to bring the people school supply because you said but we know that you like to mislead people, so we're very cautious. We're treading softly with you. Yes. Let us go to a clip. An SLP supporter gone sour. He was promised. The man was promised what it was, $10,000 to deliver votes or whatever it was, Reverend. Well, sometimes I hear St. Lucian saying some things and I sometimes question it, but when you have these people coming out and they're speaking so bold, and I mean, the guy is saying, the Rasta is saying he was victimized by the SLP that he worked for and did not pay him during the elections. A lot of nastiness went on in that last election. I stayed quiet on speaking about the last elections, but the more you listen, you're hearing people coming forward and they're speaking from the different communities about the nastiness. They're confessing. Zokwe Bodieka Jwe Mohadizo unrighteousness cannot stand. Unrighteousness does not stand, and all uncleanness must be exposed. I told you, my friends, that the SLP, because of the way they conducted themselves during the elections, I said to you that they would not be able to lead a country in time of peace. I said that to you. It will be constant chaos because, you see, righteousness exalts a nation. But here we have a man coming forward and the man is saying, look, let me just take off this thing from my ears because I am talking loud and I don't know I'm talking loud because I have an earpiece in my ear. So I'm going to put it on only when we get a call, all right? Because that's the only way I can hear. It's the only way I can hear, and it seems that there's a call coming in. Caller, you on the air. Caribbean American News Media.
Yes, sir. Hello. Yes, sir. Good night.
Good night.
And good night to all your listeners.
Greetings.
Yes, I want to tell you, weak men in peace times, peace brings weak men. In times of difficulty, it brings strong men.
Yeah.
Now, what I want to say there is that in times of peace times, Alan Shaftney gave St. Lucia under times of great calamity in our country. And he had to be a strong man.
Yeah.
By in other words, Kenny Anthony said that something happened. He couldn't borrow any money.
Yes, you remember that.
You understand?
Yep.
So now when Shaftney came in, Shaftney had to go out there and build back up our reputation, build back up what is St. Lucia, and bring St. Lucia into peace times. You see how we maneuver when we set sail, how we maneuver on those high waves of COVID-19 and then dock our boats in port as crisp as possible.
Yep.
And in all those now, like I want to tell you, Philip J. Pierre inherited peace times. Philip J. Pierre came into power when COVID-19 was done.
Yep.
When Alan Shaftney had rebuilt our economy.
Yep.
You understand?
Yep.
So he had no excuse. He had no excuse to why the country after 2 years have reached into that state, because you remember we saw the last budget, he said we saw a surplus. That was 2021 after Alan Shaftney lost the election.
Yes.
When tourism rebound, when Alan Shaftney opened the borders. When I'm talking about Alan Shaftney, I'm meaning his entire cabinet of ministers and the entire people that make up the government, because it wasn't Alan Shaftney alone. Alan Shaftney is just a face.
Yeah.
But all the technocrats, all those different people that was at the time, where those guys maneuver COVID-19 and whatnot into a thing where the economy had rebound and get at least a 12% rebound, right?
Yeah.
It was about 12%, right?
Yes. Yep.
We were performing as the fastest growing economy in the entire Caribbean region, and he had a surplus of how much money? 74 million, 21 million. How much was the surplus?
I think it was 70-something million. I heard.
All right, that's a surplus. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what is the excuse this man can come and say now that the economy is in such a dire need where we have to borrow over $1 billion? Put $43 million levy on St. Lucia, 2.5 levy on St. Lucians, on top of the VAT and all those different things Kenya had implemented.
But you know, Colin,
you understand? But do you see?
But earlier, sorry not to interrupt you, but I remember earlier after the elections when the Speaker of the House started boasting that the Philip J. administration have not borrowed any money as yet, and they have not borrowed, and they're doing all these things, and it means that Alan Shastney would have done something good. He would have left money. He would have left an economy rolling back, after the COVID-19 crisis. If you did not borrow money as a government earlier in the game, where did you get the money from?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly.
That would be the question. But go ahead, Colin.
Exactly. It's a critical question, yes. So what I want to say on that matter, we can see on all fronts the Philip JP administration has failed St. Lucia. When it comes to our foreign policy, number one, I will jot on the foreign policy. We have lost bananas to Britain. The French has put advisory to its citizens. America has cut down on its airlift to St. Lucia. Yeah. You can see what is happening there. No, this is a sign the West is not in favor of St. Lucia. You remember St. Lucia sanctions on it already. Our police was standing it.
I think we were having some technical issues there with your... Okay, so our caller got disconnected, I believe. His line failed. Okay, he's coming back. Yes, my friend, go ahead. You're on the...
Yes, sir.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was telling you, don't forget our police force have sanctions on it already.
Repeat that?
You remember that? Our police force has sanctions on it.
Oh, yes. We must not forget that.
And we must never forget that.
Yeah.
And that was under the St. Lucia Labour Party administration when Kenny Anthony was in power. Mm-hmm. So, the reason why I'm going on the foreign policy first, because many people are asking why St. Lucia do not have many airlifts as many, and the harbour is empty, no cruise ships are coming in.
Yeah, what's going on there?
The taxi men are crying.
Yeah. This
is called a hybrid warfare. And if you can look up the word on Google, what is hybrid warfare? What it is not a hot war. It is basically a cold war, a strategic war where countries, like it's basically a coup d'etat, but it's not a coup d'etat. It's basically where other countries stifle rogue government that is not in favor of the Western ideas, not in favor of democracy, and in favor of socialism. And so you will see SLP aligning itself more with rogue countries like Cuba, Venezuela, Russia, Iran, China, different parts of Africa that the West do not see as democratic countries.
Right.
The West watch those countries as how can I say it, dictatorship.
Yes.
So
and many of those countries with human rights violations.
Beg your pardon?
I said most of these countries practice human rights. A matter of fact, they mess with the rights of their citizens.
The human rights, especially Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia have no women rights, and women are supposed to know that in St. Lucia, Saudi Arabia has no women rights.
You remember what happened to the journalist? That? The journalist. What happened to him?
Yes, the journalist was killed.
Yes, we must never forget those things.
And it was alleged that they were behind 9/11 as well. But I'm not going too much into that.
No.
But what I'm trying to tell you is that we are under political, economic, social strain in our country by Western countries that do not find favor with this government. Hence the reason why when the United Workers' Party is in power, our conservative ideas, our democratic processes throughout our party, because the St. Lucia Labour Party is a hierarchy structured power. The power is centralized at the top of the party.
Okay.
So you understand, even if most of the party do not want Philip JP as the prime minister or the next in line after Kenny Anthony, it was already signed and was a done deal that 15 years ago he was deputy leader for how many years under Kenny? He was the deputy, so it would always be him that would be. But the UWP now, we're going to have elections on those things. It is still Alan Shastney or whoever that want to go against Alan Shastney. The people will have their say. So you see now the British now telling those guys, hey, we might put visa restrictions on you guys, you know.
Mm-hmm.
2, we taking away the bananas from you. That is one of your main source of incomes. So right now there we depending on bananas, farming and tourism. They cut out the bananas from us.
Right.
So right now we're depending solely on tourism. And tourism is already dying.
It was,
They don't even have COVID. COVID is rising in St. Lucia, but they do not even have COVID. But people have to ask themselves, but they don't have no COVID. Why cruise ships are not coming in St. Lucia? You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to bring up one more point again. On that road, that Groseley Highway Road.
Yeah, talk to me on that, yeah.
When Stevenson King had stopped that project under the St. Lucia Labour Party, he said that he has been under the last administration. There have been corruption. They're going to have a report to St. Lucians in 52 days
Mm-hmm.
for the reason why they stopped the highway from Groseley Massad all the way down to Shock, wherever they have the highway. You know the Groseley Highway?
Yes.
Yes. He said that they're going to have an investigation in 52 days, my brother. It is 2 years now since he said they're going to have a investigation, a report
And
as to
nothing,
why they stopped the
and nothing,
nothing yet.
nothing yet. There's still, yeah.
Let's just jump on the Millennium Highway quick.
Mm-hmm.
He said it was C.O. William.
Mm-hmm.
The Prime Minister said it was the rain. You understand?
Yep.
He said it was C.O. William that have the problem. But you was there with C.O. William under United Workers' Party.
That's it.
Then you said it was Guy Joseph that was messing around with you in infrastructure.
That's right.
Then now you under Labour Party, you trying to blame C.O. William.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Prime Minister will come and say about the rain. You see, like the Prime Minister will say, you see the lies those guys are peddling. You see the lies those guys are peddling.
Yes, that's right. My
So,
God.
I am loving what is happening in the country.
Yeah.
So, in other words, what we must do, what I'm hoping and praying for, Alan Shastney mustn't be afraid of that. Let us put some progressive laws into place where we're going to have freedom of seeing what deals, because you don't know Emma Hippolyte said that they secretly look GPS.
Yeah. Yeah.
She went, you know, she went to secret deals in your bedroom with right man. Why? But that's me so much. They will not do not be around. I'm urging all solutions, all excel support. Put out Philip G to save the SFP, because you know that it's friend. It's in all 70 seats. And it's not because of whatever. It's righteous taking those seats. So I mean, manage you for often.
Yeah, your internet is failing. Okay. Yes. Your
Like,
yeah.
A number 14 in your head. There's no number 14 in no elevators. You understand?
Yeah.
You heard him in his interview carefully when he said that he tell what's his name, Philip J. tell him give him 11 seats. He said he told Philip J. I'm going to give you 14 seats.
Yep.
And I brought the sketch, I brought the coffin. So you see all those different mix and all different things that is happening there. It's coming out.
Yeah. We have an internet. You're having a connection issue with your We having a connection issue with your line.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Yes, you hear me now.
Yeah, we're hearing you a little better now. But yes.
Yeah,
so I have the clip with the RAS in Vieux-Fort. I believe he's from Vieux-Fort, and he's complaining that he have not been paid the monies that were promised.
No, they never renewed his contract. No. He said they never renew his contract. He's been politically victimized because he said that he's going. They had an interview before where he stated that he want to remove Philip J. as Prime Minister. He rather Sean Edwards as the Prime Minister. So he said because of that, they remove him off his 6 months contract he had was cutting the grass down before by the school, by the police station. Where he said that like that. I'm walking by the police station, by the school, by the road, by the other road there over there. That's what he said in the interview. So I don't know exactly where he was cutting the grass. But what I can tell you that in America, in those countries, they have no 14th floor. They have 14th floor, but they do not have number 14. He told Philip J. asked him, give me 11 seats. He told Philip J. I'm going to give you 14 seats. And he brought the coffin to the sea. So I do not know what is happening there. Those guys are deep in their voodoo. I think that's the main voodoo man for Philip J. So he better go and pay the voodoo man and reinstate the man. But that would not help them. No coffin would not help them. It's righteousness over everything. And if you didn't listen to your Psalms, there have times when, not Psalms, Solomon, King Solomon, when he been asking God for forgiveness, that is the tribulation St. Lucia have to get. 7 years of famine, 7 years of plenty.
My God.
This is the 5 years of famine. This is the 5 years of famine.
Yes. The people can.
And by God's grace, Alan Shastney will come back in power to give us the 7 years of plenty. And then after that, we must continue voting the United Workers' Party into power. I thank you, my brother. There are other people on the line.
I really appreciate this call. I really appreciate it. So yes, my friends, let's just have a look at what the call is talking about here with the Rasta from Viewfort. Let's try to go over to the clip.
He won the 13. He tell me he will give me $10,000. He promised me $10,000.
We will play it back.
After he win the elections, the following day. Right now, they have 3 years. I cannot give my $10,000 yet. Up to now, I cannot get my $10,000. And you work. And I work for it. Everybody in St. Lucia know I was the one that brought the coffin in the sea. I was the one that Chaste take me to court. So how come now I cannot get justice now in St. Lucia?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on because I have a family to feed. And right now there, my brother, I feel I am a political attack because I had a little contract doing for at least 1 month or 6 months, and then they renew everybody contract. They don't renew my contract.
What was your contract, my brother?
I was returning by the street, by the road, by the station there, by the field there. Yeah. Everybody have the contract with it from Viewfort to Gozile. Me alone that don't get my contract.
Why, my brother, you think that happened?
Because I feel the last time I made a video and concerning Philip J. Pierre. So as I say, Philip J. Pierre is not fit for the job. It come like they say I'm not fit for my job too. So it's a political attack.
A revenge.
A revenge. So right now there, I want to stop that revenge thing in St. Lucia. Because you see Philip J. Pierre personal. Because the reason why I don't have really confidence in Philip J. Pierre, the last time there, I went to Philip J. Pierre in front of the elections. He told me give him 11.
Yeah, we give him 13.
I gave him 13 out of all. I gave him 13. He won the 13. He told me he will give me $10,000. He promised me $10,000 as soon as he win the elections the following day. Right now, they have 3 years. I cannot give my $10,000 yet. Up to now, I cannot get my $10,000.
And you work.
And I work for it. Everybody in St. Lucia know I was the one that brought the coffin in the sea. I was the one that Chaste take me to court.
Okay.
Just speechy from now going on jet man.
Hold a minute, folks. There's something playing out there that we got to get rid of. Okay, good. Okay, so brethren, I'm kind of speechless. For me, I would tell you, it sounds like fairy tale. It sounds like something that, somebody who might be going through depression or have lost their mind would come up. But the guy is actually saying, and you're looking at him, the man is saying, look, Philip J. Pierre asked me for 11. Now, I stop so that you can understand what is going on here. Philip J. Pierre asked me for 11. He got 13. He said he would give me $10,000. I have not received the $10,000. The guy spoke out early this year. His contract was not renewed. All other contracts, based on what he's saying, was renewed except his. Now, to me, it sounds like if we take the guy at his word, let's say we believe what he's saying. Because I'm still trying to assess what this man is saying. I'm still trying to make my own assessment. And I wish he can come on the platform, and I wish somebody can get in contact with him and have him to call the program to explain to us what is he talking about. I'll track him down. I'll try to find him. But the guy is saying that pair in opposition came to him and asked him for 11. Promised him $10,000. It seems to me that what we are hearing in St. Lucia about people dabbling in evil and all those things, to me, with all these people coming out and speaking up now, there might be some truth to what is happening here. And maybe that's why Mr. Pear is asking St. Lucians to protect the victory. Please explain to us, what is the victory? What victory are you talking about? You have not paid the man, your main guy, for the victory, but you are protecting a victory that you have not paid for. And no wonder the blood of people runs all over the island from View Fort, because that seems to be your main spot, your sweet spot. That's where you guys go. But God would have it that the wicked will not stand. Wickedness, unrighteousness will never prevail. It would seem as though you are prospering and things are nice and you get into power, but you have blighted an entire nation. A nation that is known to be a Christian nation is now tainted, cursed, blight. And we can see the confusion in the leadership. You can see it, friends. I don't know if you have spiritual eyes. You can see the confusion. When they want to say one thing, they say something else. They say what they don't mean. They say what they're trying to hide. They have no choice. There is confusion. I told you, like the Tower of Babel. And I explained to some of you some Saturday nights ago that Mr. Pear Kingdom is quickly crumbling. Because if your kingdom is not built on righteousness, then it will only crumble, friends. There will be chaos. Sadly, an entire nation will pay the price. The entire nation will pay the price. Sadly. But it's the truth. My friends, we got to stop and pause. We got to stop, and we must pause a little while. Because I don't think this man is crazy. I don't think so. To just get up and start accusing the Prime Minister of promising him $10,000 for 11. 11 of what? Call you on the air, Caribbean American News Media.
Hello, good night, Pastor Garfield.
Good night, my friend. You're on the air.
Good night, good night, good night.
Good night. You sound low. What happened? Are you okay?
Garfield. Yes, I am. I'm sounding low.
But go ahead. I can hear you now. I took out the plug. Sorry.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Pastor Garfield, we're in trouble. We're in great trouble.
Wow.
Philip J. Pierre said that he wasn't aware that the French authorities had looted the citizens, right?
Yep.
Okay, so now we have one of the biggest bombshells. So Philip J. Pierre would say again that he's not aware that the French the French authorities are putting a form of visa for St. Lucia. Isn't the St. Lucian Consulate in Martinique aware that there will be an implementation of some form of travel restrictions on St. Lucia also?
Because, I mean, Shazzy is over there, and all he's talking about is Alan Chasney. But Shazzy's on the every live. He should be able to give us a heads up, or at least give the Prime Minister a heads up that is
okay.
St. Lucians are going to be...
Well, okay. As of the end of this year, St. Lucian citizens that will be traveling to Martinique and Europe, you will no longer be free to enter Martinique and Europe. You warned. Your Prime Minister have not told you. Maybe you may hear it from me first. Or you can also Google it under the French website. It is called an E, capital E, capital T, capital I, capital A, capital F.
So ECIAF.
Yes, it says the ETIAS means St. Lucian passport holders could be denied entry into Europe. France is part of Europe.
Yeah.
Martinique is part of Europe. St. Martin has a part of Europe, which is on the French side.
Mm-hmm.
Every St. Lucian will have to apply for this ETIAS. The most important thing about this ETIAS, it's a form of visa. It's a visa format that's there.
Mm-hmm.
When you apply for this ETIAS, you must make sure that you have a bank account. You have funds. You have funds to take care of yourself for the 15 days or the 10 days or whichever days you will spend in Martinique or in Europe. You have to fill in your criminal record and all of this. If you've been denied, you cannot apply for 3 years. You cannot apply for that ETIAS. These are restrictions that Martinique and the French is already starting to put on St. Lucian citizens. Shazi, where are you? Hey, what I'm telling you. The next thing about that, again, if you do have a criminal record, if there is an Interpol on you that you've been arrested in another country or whatever, you will be denied. If you have a record in St. Lucia where you've been arrested or whatever it is, you will be denied.
Wow, this is
This will start on the 1st of January 2024. The processing implementation, which is the processing from the old version to the ETIAS, will start in November 2023. Shazi don't know that. Shazi, but you sit down in the consulate, cleaning the toilet and washing the cars and running down the road to buy the yogurt and the groceries and still begging people to bring things up for you.
Wow.
You don't know that. But when Philip J. Pierre will ask this question about the restrictions that Martinique is putting on St. Lucians, he will turn like a go-go again and say,
He's going to say he don't know. That's what he's going to do.
When that happened? When that happened? Like a jack. But I'm telling you, it's going to be hard because a lot of people like me, we come to Martinique, we buy yogurt, we buy stuff, we shop, we go down and make our money, we come here and buy things, we speculate. You understand? There are people who come there on medical. You understand what I'm saying? So what is going to happen to these people when these restrictions will be put in place? And it's not just for Martinique, it's all of Europe,
and that is
all of Europe.
That was not in the news today.
Anybody can go and Google it. I beg your pardon?
It was not in the news today.
It has not been in the St. Lucia news nowhere, but it's in the French news. It's on the website, and if you just go on Google ETIAS, you will find it right away. But it's not in the St. Lucia News. I have been waiting for Mr. Shazi, but I will go to the country to expose him.
Yeah, because
Shazi called.
Go ahead. I need people to call in.
Shazi did call a program. I remember when Dr. Shine Barrows came to St. Lucia, and they went to view Fort. Remember, you were there.
Yeah.
And Shasney had promised some shoes and equipment for the kids playing soccer on that field. Remember that?
Yes.
Okay. After that happened, when they showed the clips and everything, I remembered. I cannot remember whether it was on your program or whether it was on the Timothy's program. But Shazi came on one of these programs and he said, when they said to him he talked for his job in, I think it was on the Timothy's, he talked for his job in Martinique and whatever. He was laughing, and then he made that statement stating that, I am already getting shoes for the kids for school. I'm already getting shoes for the kids for school. But we St. Lucians that live in Martinique, we can help. We can help. So why aren't you guys asking us for help? Why isn't there something in the consulate that says, for donation for the kids? So how is Shazi doing school things and nobody else do? So who's sponsoring the shoes and where they're coming from? I don't understand. So we never hear nothing about the consulate sending the shoes down to St. Lucia. We never hear the kids getting shoes from the consulate because, of course, yes, Shazi would brag it because he wants to look good.
Yeah, because he's also trying to make the government of St. Lucia look good. He have been trying his best.
Exactly.
Lying, misleading.
Exactly.
The people.
Where are the shoes? Shazi can come and answer. Where are the shoes? And he can come and answer too on the TIAS. You need to come and answer to that. And let Philip JP about that because this is hard restrictions for St. Lucians. And a lot of St. Lucians are coming into Martinique for medical health. For medical care.
So we can safely break this news and say to our viewers,
it is on the internet. You can go look.
Yes, I'm going to pull it up.
You can have a look for yourself.
I'm going to pull it up right now.
Everybody can pull it up for themselves.
So
it is right there.
Right. So we're hearing that
it is right
French,
there.
That St. Lucians traveling to any French territory, Europe,
it is right there.
Will need a
look, I'm reading it for myself here on Schengen visa.
And that will be in effect
Schengen visa, you'll see it.
The 1st of January 2024. It is called the ECIAF.
Yes.
And
it is very unlikely that St. Lucian citizens will be denied entry to Europe once ETIAF is launched. The reason why your application for ETIAS must be refused include, and then they have it, you have a criminal background, pose a danger to security, or are in travel watch list about suspected terrorists. You provide fraudulent information during your application. You are traveling from an area with an epidemic, a pandemic outbreak, or could be a danger to public health. Sorry, and then they goes along to say documents that you are going to you are going to need. When you talk about criminal record, you're talking about that is similar to getting a US visa.
Yeah.
That is almost similar to getting a Canadian visa to enter Canada. So exactly.
Wow. Folks, just bear with us. We just lost feed there. I really want to hear from this caller. So I'm going
There's not enough money on your account.
Okay, so we're going to wait for this caller to call back. Call if you're on, you're hearing us. We'd like to get more information on that, folks. We're just getting news from one of our regular caller, and that is citizens of St. Lucia traveling to any European country, Martinique, France, will need at some point a ECIAF document authorization, such as a visa from the 1st of January 2024. We're going to get that confirmation. We haven't seen Shazi on tonight. He normally calls to speak on a lot of what I would consider nonsense. To talk about Chastney and his father, but these pertinent information that especially St. Lucians who travel to Martinique regularly, they would need to have this information so that they can do whatever they have to do right now. Because you cannot depend on the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. We saw what happened. He was given a bazooka at the press conference when one of the reporters asked him about certain developments that were happening there in Martinique. He said when that happened, he don't know. And the very same thing, they have not said anything to St. Lucians as of today. And if you would ask him, he's going to tell you, look, when did that happen? When did it happen? But you have Shazi in Martinique, a cultural attaché, and all other attachés in Martinique. But nobody's been alerted. Nobody's been told anything in St. Lucia. So I'm happy that we have this program where you, the St. Lucian people, you, our listeners, can call and share information with us. And as much as the information is raw, and it goes out before we can verify, I would say to you, friends, those of you with your smart device, you should go online and look it up, ECIAF. All right, I'm sure you would get it, and I'm believing the caller because she was reading. All right, look, Celia's saying here, it's ETIAS. ETIAS. So, right. And it's not just St. Lucia. It's not just St. Lucia. There are other countries that, while we're waiting on your call, so we are open for any discussion tonight. We have no specific topic. We just have people calling randomly, and we having discussion. Earlier, we spoke about Wasco with the water issues in Dennery South, and we were asking them to help the people out there. 3 days and no water in Dennery South. All right, so Reverend, you stick with me. Let's see how we can get this information up. Let's see how we can do this. Let's see how we can do this. Okay, so the ETIAS is actually European Travel Information and Authorization System. All right. Let's see here. So I also see that Trinidad and Tobago nationals will have to get themselves approved for travel just like the U.S. Okay. All right, so it seems like that is breaking news there. Let me see if I can pull it up on the main system. They say they're simplifying travel to the U.S., but let me see if I can get it up for you, friends. Just bear with me. You know how we do it here. Everything is done raw. Okay, but that video that I pull up there, it is from... All right, stick with me. I'm getting it to you. Stick with me, folks. We have not heard anything from the government on this situation. We have not heard anything at all. But what I got there, let me just come back to you. Let me get back to you, folks. What I gather is that it is a a new travel system for Europe. Maybe that's why the Prime Minister said to you, St. Lucians, that you're in Europe. You're strategically in Europe. So I am not sure how that's going to work for Europeans like St. Lucians. But let's go back to our chat to see what is happening here. But I saw a lot of updates there on that travel system, the European travel system, and it is going to be implemented in the year 2024. All right. There are many other Caribbean countries. Yes. Yes. Miranda says St. Vincent and Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados. Yes. So our callers are on the ball. They are getting the information. We don't spread propaganda here. So it is confirmed. It is confirmed. Yes, it is confirmed. Oh, my. So, wow. That is breaking developments there that, we will have to try to get something out. I will see if I can work through the night to get some clips out so that our people can be warned. They can, make all their travel arrangements around this situation that is happening in St. Lucia. They're busy giving people Mapui and talking about Chastney and court case, but there is this serious problem here for St. Lucians. And not only that, we also had, we also heard England making some noise there concerning travel to their country. Yeah. Caribbean American News Media, caller, you're on the air.
Yes, brother.
Hey, my friend.
I just wanted to say again, you see what is hybrid warfare? You see what we're talking about?
What
is coming to light now?
No, but you just flashed across my mind while I was reading this, because you said it earlier.
And I didn't even know that it's happening. So that's just a little of what hybrid warfare is about.
Yeah.
When they're going to strangle government that is not in favor of the Western ideas and what we as Western people stand for. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yep.
But thank you. I'm following. Yeah.
My God, appreciate that. Okay, my friend. Wow. So, Reverend, brace yourself. You're in for some difficult times, and I want you to watch this space because these major world powers, they will crush little countries like St. Lucia, developing states. They will crush you guys, and that's why you got to be careful with who you elect as your leaders. You can no longer vote because they want to give you $10,000 to put a coffin by the sea. You can no longer vote because they're paying you $500 or they're giving you a piece of chicken and some rum. You can no longer just vote because they're giving you some bounty or a cigarette, or they're smiling with you, or they're giving you some sex or something. You can no longer just vote. We got to have a more educated base voters in the country. When I say educated, it doesn't mean that you have to have degrees and all those things, but you must be informed. You must know the issues in the country. Now we are hearing grumblings of teaching our children about the gay and lesbian lifestyle in our schools, introducing it to them. We heard callers on Timothy's program saying that we should get rid of the Bible, get rid of prayers, get rid of the Bible, get rid of prayers. Allow children to choose whatever sex they want in St. Lucia. Free up everything. Caribbean American News Media, caller, you on the air.
Good evening, Brother Garfield. How are you?
Not bad at all. How are you?
I'm just under the weather, but I'm holding on.
Good. What's on your mind?
Brother Garfield, yeah, just allow me to share some basic housekeeping matters, just to remind all United Workers' Party supporters all over the United States we're extending an invitation to those of you in Canada, the UK, that our annual Labor Day barbecue is on this year. It's on Sunday, September 3rd, and the address or the venue for this big Labor Day celebration slash barbecue is at 138-224th Street, Lawrenson, Queens, New York, and it's scheduled to start at 2 p.m. The event is hosted by the United Workers' Party in collaboration with the New York Double Caucus. So we're extending an invitation to all supporters throughout the length and breadth of the United States. Be part of it if you have to arrange your schedule. Do that. You still have time. So we're extending an invitation to everybody to be part of this barbecue. It's going to be big. There's going to be lots of surprises this year. And last year, as you know, you were there, Brother Garfield, and you did your live broadcast. You saw how big it was. And this year promises to be even bigger and better. So I just wanted to put that out there, that the Labor Day barbecue is on, and it's Sunday, September 3rd. That's the Sunday before Labor Day Monday. And the venue again is at 138-224th Street, Lawrenson, Queens, New York. It's going to be huge. There'll be lots of surprises, and if anything else, Brother Garfield, there's always room for improvement. As you grow, you always have to improve. So we just extend an invitation to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So there you have it, folks.
I want to say quickly, do you have the clip where this guy is making some serious revelations on, I don't know if you know Appa, this guy who has the Facebook Live. And there's this gentleman who says he's a staunch Labour Party supporter. And he's making some serious revelations. I listened to the Facebook clip, and I was startled. The kinds of things that this gentleman said, on a biblical standpoint, it's frightening, and we yet to prove if whatever he's saying is factual. But the fact that he can mention names, including the Prime Minister, says a lot. So I don't know if you're privy to that clip, but it's viral now. It's all over on social media. And it's just worrying, it's concerning. The gentleman in question says that he was a staunch Labour Party supporter. He spoke his mind. He's been victimized now. And promises were made to him before the last general election. He mentioned the practical JP's name. And monies were owed to him and stuff like that. That was a startling revelation. So we should not just brush this video live aside, but we should pay close attention to this and maybe, I don't know if you want to talk about it or touch on it, but I think we should not just leave it hanging. So that's all my take today. But I guess, again, the Labor Day barbecue celebration is on. It's Sunday, September 3rd, and it's at Lawrenson, Queens, New York, and we're extending an invitation to all supporters across the length and breadth of the United States, including Canada and the UK. So thanks for giving me the opportunity, Brother Garfield, and keep up the good work like what you're doing, and God will continue to bless you.
Thank you, my friend, and you keep up doing what you're doing. Blessings. Thank you so much. Appreciate. So yes, that was our brother Ian there, my friends. But our phone lines are open. We just also we are seeing over on our YouTube channels. Our YouTube channel, we have Sylvia, who is confirming. Yes, she Googled it, and it is ETIAS from January 24th, 2024. Sorry, January 2024. That is not long from now. For those of you who are under the live, the Facebook Live, I just suspended who is that red wine or something like that. I just ban that person for 15 minutes, and when they come back, if there's any disturbance, we're going to completely remove them, block them permanently from the live. All right, so we're here on business. We are not here on Maji on Papi Show. This is very serious business, and tonight I'm not going to allow any type of distraction on our platform. I have tolerated, I have allowed persons to express themselves on the platform. I've allowed the SLP to, to comment it live and to express themselves. But what I do not want is for my viewers to be uncomfortable on this platform. I do not want our faithful viewers who come here so that we can congregate together as one family. I don't want them to come and feel uncomfortable in their own house. I'm not going to have it. So I suspended it. I have a lot of grace, as you know, and mercy. Caller, you're on the air, Caribbean American News Media.
Hello. Good night, Pastor Garfield.
Oh, good night, my friend. Good. I'm happy you called back. It was confirmed, my friend.
I am watching.
Oh, good.
But what I want to say is that the guy in Beaufort at APA who said who did this video. What are people really shocked about? The fact that he said that he did that for Philip JPS for the money, or is it the fact that he did such a thing? Which one is more shocking? Which one are we questioning?
Well,
are we questioning the fact that he said he did it for this person, or is it the fact that we said he did it? Because the reason why I'm saying that is because everyone saw that happening on island.
Yeah.
I left Castries because I came down to St. Lucia for the elections, and I was in Castries South, Cicero. When I heard that Mikud was not doing good, I went down to Mikud. There was a particular person, Mikud people know that, they know that. There was a particular person who had designed a doll like Gail, they stuff her pants and they stuff her shirt, and they had her political plaque with her face on the head and all that. Yeah. That person used to drag her in the cemetery every night. Yeah. And the night before the elections, they buried her in the sea, in the coffin. The same thing the guy did in Beaufort. They did Gail that the same thing in Mikud. They forgot. So that's not surprising. So that's what I'm asking. Which one is surprising? All of them knew and saw what was going on, because I came down to St. Lucia and I saw myself what was going on. So the coffin thing and that whatever that guy said is not shocking, because everybody saw that was happening. It happened in Beaufort, it happened in Mikud, it happened everywhere. So a lot of the hypocrites know what was happening, because a lot of the flambeaus go and vote for them. But what I'm saying, which one is more shocking? Is it that it's Philip J. Pierre who was behind all of these coffin things on the island? Or even bribing persons, or even paying persons to get these jobs done? I want to know. But I'm just saying, it just didn't happen in Beaufort alone. It happened also in Mikud, because I saw it happen in Mikud. I cannot say for anywhere else.
Wow. And
okay, Pastor Garfield, good night.
Thank you so much. And we also had, thank you, caller, and we also heard of blood being placed on doors at polling sites or whatever it was at people's office. So the outrage should be, and the truth of the matter is, the outrage should be on St. Lucians getting themselves involved in unrighteousness. For me, that is the whole the news here. People are saying, well, Philip J. offered the guy $10,000, and that's what the guy is saying. We don't know that for a fact, but we're hearing Philip J. offered the guy $10,000. Dr. Ellis, you're calling early. Thank you.
Yes, I'm calling you early tonight.
Listen, I'm happy. I'm happy.
Good evening to you, Garfield. Good evening to your listeners.
Yes, welcome.
Let me tell you something. I am no political scientist. Let me clear the air on this. Everybody know my forte is telecommunications.
Yep.
But think about the communications part of it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Garfield, I've studied a lot of the problems that we have in the Caribbean. And I'm a traveled man. I travel as many places, a lot more than a lot of people will ever probably get a chance to.
Yeah.
From the Middle East to Canada to South America and so on. And, I study back at the history of St. Lucia with the wars between the French and the English. And we have come through all kinds of different stages, statehood. Now we call ourselves independence. And here we think we're going into a republic because Barbados has done that.
Yeah.
And I think every one of the islands in the Caribbean will have to take a position as to how much development they want and how much independence they want of themselves. But we keep on fooling the people, Garfield, that this thing called independence means that we can do what we want, when we want, and how we want.
Yep.
That has gone down to the problems in the homes with our young people today, and it goes right up to the politicians who are headed in the country today.
Yeah.
The world is such that you can't do what you want, when you want, how you want. When America increased the cost of visas to the United States, I lived long enough to remember when it was just probably $100 and something, and they didn't put on any other restrictions. We complain.
Yeah.
When Canada put on a visa requirement for St. Lucians to go to Canada, we complain, right?
Yeah.
And we find ourselves in a situation now where we do not understand that these bigger countries will take a decision and we can't do one damn about it because they are also independent.
Yeah.
Our people believe that because we're independent, we can do what we want, and the politicians tell you that.
Yeah.
Some of the people in St. Lucia tell you, oh, we can go and talk to Chavez, and we can go and talk to this one in Venezuela, and we can deal with Cuba, and they don't understand that the bigger countries have a role to play for themselves as well.
That's right. And
they have a role to play for themselves.
And we can protect ourselves. God forbid there's a war.
And you can say you're independent, but you still must realize that every single day as we live, we depend on people like America and Canada and the Europeans.
That's right.
We have a situation where America withdrew our Leahy law. They drew the training of our police officers because of stupidity that's happening in St. Lucia. But America showed St. Lucians that they're so big and powerful, they can come in St. Lucia, train policemen from around the Caribbean, and don't train our own St. Lucia policemen. I was surprised. Well, I was not really surprised, but I hope people realize that. America showed them that they can come and rent a hotel in St. Lucia and train policemen from around the Caribbean, but our St. Lucia policemen will not be trained. Why didn't go to another country? Why didn't go to Barbados or one of the other countries that they were training? They came in our house, in St. Lucia.
Yeah.
And that shows you the power of the person you're dealing with. That shows you the power of the person you're dealing with. And when you have these small-minded politicians, people who really think they can only fool some people in St. Lucia, talk about we are independent. We don't have to listen to this one, this one. Canada will do what they want for themselves. But remember, Canada has contributed to a country to help you develop. Now you get big and bold and you feel you're independent. You feel you can do what you want. The Europeans out there are now telling you, they've given us a hospital. You heard the Owen King European Union Hospital. And then you're going to go now and talk to the Saudis and other people out there and feel that because you're independent, you can go and talk to who you want and ignore the people and give visas to Russia, CIP and all that thing, and you feel you're independent. Nobody can tell you what to do. Therefore, Garfield, we can't tell the Europeans what to do. We can't tell anybody what to do when they put visas on our behinds. What we can say, We're a small country, and we have to decide what we're doing and do it carefully. And when we have politicians who don't think of the action they take and what repercussions it will take on the average small man on the street, not the big boys who have the money to fly here and there. But it's a serious, serious problem. It's a serious, serious problem. And you know what's sad about it? The mature people, the people who know this kind, who can talk more about this topic, the political scientists, the people who have international affairs, who study international affairs, will not come and talk this for the people to understand.
That's it.
They will use their independent stature to get a vote.
That's it. That's it.
They will say we don't need these people. These people, we can sell our passports to anybody. And you know, people like Ernest Hilaire and the Prime Minister will beat their chest. I'm a black man. I only have one passport. Heck no! The people are listening to all your stupidity.
That's it. That's it.
And they will deal with you accordingly. You know, and I will not stop. The little breath that I have, I will not stop saying it. These politicians must have the understanding that they cannot just do what they want and feel that because I have 15-1 or 15-2 or 13-2, they can do what they want. You know, and it's really frightening what they're doing to the countries of the Caribbean. Skerritt on a platform, they're beating his chest, his wife talking as though she can do what she wants.
Yep.
Everybody, they feel that they can do what they want in this little country, and the people that will suffer is the average people who want to know that the import bill go down. And all these governments can do when the time comes is put on a levy or increase a VAT.
Yep.
Or increase. That's all they will do.
That's all they
will do.
And
the average suckers will have to resort to seeing if they can plant a little breadfruit tree or a little dashing or a little banana tree. They will not be able to go in the supermarket. When you see, when you see things in the other countries and see how something that sells for $1 and a few cents in Canada sells for $20 and $30. Let me give you a little one. I like these sweet tamarind. Sweet tamarind.
Yeah, me too.
I come up here and I buy a little box of sweet tamarind for about $3 or $4.
Yeah.
It's average about $4. You know, I went back home last time I left Canada, and I went back and I went to the store. I bought a box. I picked it up and I bought it, and I shared it with some of my friends. I didn't even look at the price.
Yeah.
My friends enjoyed it. And I figured, well, I'll go back to the store.
Yeah.
I'm not saying which store, and buy another box.
Yeah.
This time I checked the price. $35.
$35 for that same $3 or $4.
$35. You can check it out tomorrow. I said, well, this time I'm not eating sweet tamarind from that store.
No. I'll wait till I get on the plane and get it, yeah.
So it's the grown people, the little people that will suffer. So when you hear these politicians beating their chest and making believe that, and when you have politicians who, I'm not calling any names, do these kind of worthless things by trying to evade paying taxes in foreign countries, and then the little man who goes to J.Q. Charles or somewhere and picks up a breadfruit or tin or something, they want to arrest him. But the big boys trying to get away from it freely and beat their chest because they have power and they can swindle and they can threaten people because they're in power now. These are all things that the people who have the power to deal with St. Lucia will look at and see what they do. You think the embassies around the Caribbean are not listening to what's happening in St. Lucia?
Yeah.
You think the British embassy in St. Lucia and the Americans are not monitoring? They have their soldiers in St. Lucia. They come in as tourists and they listen to the GARFIELD show. They listen to the local news and they know what's going on the ground.
And that's why that's why political parties, when during election season, they should be very careful with the utterances that comes out of their mouth, Because when you start talking
That's
about
right.
white men and the leeches, and they come in our country and rape our country and put their foot on our people's neck, the white people, when you keep doing that, these people are hearing.
Because Garfield, they're just trying to fool the foolish people, and every country have foolish people. You know, when a man will come on TV and say that England is broke, two half-idiots, as far as I am concerned, will come on TV and tell St. Lucians England is broke. That's why they put a visa on St. Lucia.
I wonder what happened to France now. France is broke too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you have a foreign minister you don't hear at all. He doesn't give no report. You have other people speaking for him. Who is the foreign minister to talk about these things?
The foreign minister is busy licking his wound over his non-appointment as deputy leader of the SLP.
You know, it's a serious problem we have in St. Lucia.
Yeah.
And I am glad I took a few months off to relax and sit down and look back at St. Lucia and see it from this angle. See what's happening here.
Well, they would need
Prime Minister Trudeau in Canada, when he makes the slightest out, he has to go and apologize to the people.
That's right. That's right.
Politicians resign on principle. On principle.
Yes.
They resign on principle.
There is one in Belize. He had to step aside. Yeah.
Who the hell is the lady to come and tell you kill it? Who is she?
Yeah.
Who is she? Because she just got a vote and she come in there, she feels she can come and tell somebody kill it.
Yeah.
It's a serious thing that we have to have answers for. Yeah. How can you sign away a port for 40 years?
Yeah.
30 or 40 years, and the people don't know what the hell they sign.
Yeah.
When these new people decide they're not going to allow the Christmas barrels to come in free, is that a point that we should know beforehand? I'm not saying it will happen, but we do not know. We don't know when these people take over the management of the port, what restrictions they'll put on solutions.
We don't know because nobody is sharing the deal with us. We don't know what's in the deal.
Yes.
So we're here speculating.
How much money will St. Lucia make from this deal?
Yeah.
And how much money are these people? Can the Prime Minister come out and level himself and realize he's working for the people of St. Lucia? That don't just come and beat his chest and say, I'll be dead in 30 years.
It's a shame.
That's what he said. Come on, man. This thing is hurtful, you know. And who are the people to take this on seriously? Where the churches come out and talk.
Nobody.
I don't want to hear about parting of the Red Sea every day.
Exactly.
We have a deep water harbor to clear.
Yeah.
There's so many people, influential people in St. Lucia that can come out and say, Mr. Prime Minister, I'll put my head on the block. This is wrong.
Yeah.
This is what I believe in. Even if you're wrong, you have to believe in something.
You have to.
And you have to say it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that everything I say is right, but that's my vision now. And if somebody can correct me, I'd be happy to correct me.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you have a Prime Minister that will come out and tell you lying, as far as everybody lies.
Yeah, everybody.
When you have a commissioner, acting commissioner of police, who will not even come out to clear his own name, he should want to come and clear his name.
Yeah. Yeah.
He should want to come out and clear his name. It's important for him to clear his name because he wants to be installed as commissioner. He should be the one pushing the Prime Minister to come out and get an investigation to clear his name.
Yep.
And stop just letting the wind pass like that, like the people of St. Lucia do not deserve to question. You know?
Yeah.
It's really sad.
Yep.
And I want to hear more people come out and speak. I want to hear more people come out and speak.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You know? And this reflects on even the kind of things that happen in the Caribbean, as though the people don't understand. I remember when a fella called Dr. Hilary Beckles come out and say, that what Stevenson King is a class act.
Yeah,
Could
yeah,
you
that
imagine
was
that?
that was an embarrassing moment. Yeah.
Could you imagine that? A man that heads our education in the Caribbean, the UE, Vice Chancellor come down and say, a man that betrayed. So Judas did a class act on Jesus Christ.
That's basically, yeah. Basically, yeah.
And you know, Stevenson King has the goal to go on a platform and boast how he took his time, he studied what he's going to do well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And screw up the UWP for his own personal gain. Because that's all that's happening, you know.
Yeah, that's all it was.
St. Lucia hasn't gained anything, you know.
Yeah.
St. Lucia hasn't gained anything from what he has done, you know.
Nope.
All that has happened is that he has personally gained because he got the same salary or even better than what he had under the UWP.
Yep.
He have it under the Labour Party.
And he get more
food. So he did a class act.
Yeah.
And that was a class act. And eating every day. No work, but eating.
Yeah, more food, yeah. That's it. Free food.
You know? This is serious stuff.
Yeah.
And this is what I want St. Lucian, the average St. Lucian, to hear about. When the small man do something wrong, they send him to jail.
Yeah.
When he cannot feed his family and he has no choice. I'm not saying stealing is good. But these big time crooks we have, whether they steal, whether they get what they get in a diplomatic way or not, it still boils down to dishonesty.
Yep. But I like Mr. Shas.
I called you early tonight. I called you early tonight because I didn't want to keep you from your bed.
That's right, because tonight nobody keep. Oh my God, this 11 o'clock thing, Doc, it's just too much. But St. Lucia will need you, so you need to eat healthy, drink healthy, sleep healthy. St. Lucia will need you in the next few years to assist them in getting out of this mess.
Well, I will do what I can. Yeah. I don't know how long the good Lord will have me to do it, but
I
told my children already, I cannot be a St. Lucian citizen living there and don't have a voice. Even if my voice is a wrong voice, somebody tell me I'm doing wrong and I will correct myself. Yeah. I wish the Prime Minister and Hilaire and all of those ministers, the one who broke into the church, imagine when a man breaks into a church, they make him minister of churches.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, one of them might break into a bank. They'll make him minister of finance.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, this is serious stuff, you know.
It is, yeah.
This is serious stuff. And we have to be able to speak and say this is wrong. Mm-hmm. You cannot do that. And the Prime Minister, again, is a disappointment to St. Lucia.
Yes.
I have nothing personal against Philip J. Pierre. Yeah. But every time he opens his mouth, his size shoe, not even the shoe, the box. The shoebox goes in his mouth. Something is wrong.
That's right.
And I don't believe he has. He lies. I believe he has a memory problem. He can't remember the things he's saying.
He can't remember. It's true. I think he has. I think he has a memory issue because just like
maybe he has both. But
maybe both. Maybe you have a lying and memory issue.
Because I can't remember he going on TV and say, I don't know where that came from.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from.
Wasn't even a month.
$1,500. He don't have a clue.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I believe it's more than just that he lies.
Yeah.
I think he just has a lapse. Maybe the work is too much for his brain. Yeah. And let me tell you something. I have a very simple process about education. You put too much in your head, it squeezes common sense right in a corner somewhere.
I like that
common sense must be... Because every human being born with common sense. You know, when you're trying to walk and you fall, you have to get up.
Yep. Yeah.
That is the common sense. Education comes afterwards. Yeah. But if you put too much education, some brains can't take it. Some brains cannot take all the education. You can send a man to school. He will study, and he'll go off.
And let me tell you, the worst thing to do is to be a liar. And then you're suffering from early signs of dementia. You can't remember nothing.
You can't remember. You can't remember yesterday. But but there's this distant memory. Some people can remember 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can't remember what happened 2 years ago.
It could be the man have been practicing lies all his life, and now he's at an age where he can't remember any of the lies.
And the Prime Minister is a class act, he's really a class act.
Yes, yes.
Imagine the man said, he's Minister of National Security. His father was a policeman. He can't remember, he don't know anything about policing. You mean your father, nothing from your father rub off on you? Nothing from your father, come on. You mean your father was a policeman? You live in the house of your father. Nothing that your father did as a policeman rub off on you. And you come in. but the humorous. There's a calypso from Trinidad. I wouldn't say it now, but you think about that calypso.
Yeah.
Your father was a policeman. Nothing from your father, so you cannot even sit down and talk to the commissioner of police and say, well, what about doing this? What about doing that? The commissioner might not take it.
And not only that, he's lying. Not only that, he's lying. He said, "Oh, I don't like. I want people. You see. People got to tell the truth. These people are lying. And I never said that." So he's accusing all institutions.
I want to ask the institution people. Whatever profession your father had, nothing that your father had in his profession you can't remember anything about it, or nothing rub off on you.
Yeah,
and this is serious stuff.
It is.
So you have to question. Anyway, I'll stop there, Garfield.
Yeah. We give you a lot of time tonight.
You might tell me to say what I don't want to say.
Okay, so
let's take care.
Okay, thank you so much.
Have a good night. Always enjoy your program. I'm going to call early because I don't want to keep you up too long. Okay?
Appreciate that, Mr. Ellis.
Take care.
Friends, that was our another famous caller to Caribbean American News. All right, let's go over to Dominica quickly on this same ETIAS thing. There's a blogger over in Dominica. One of our fans just sent it over to me, so we're going to put it up. And I believe there's some breaking news of a shooting in Cicero. Yes, I suspect that there might be some breaking news there in Castries where an individual was shot. All right, so we'll be following that breaking news. Let's go over to Dominica for a minute.
When they did that to us, I was a bit happy. Because you know what? A lot of rogues and criminals out there are using our passport. Salmon. Love that. Favorite. Healthy living. But as, you're going to get a visa. Right? I applied immediately. Never thought for once that I would be affected. Right? I can afford to jump on a plane to go to England anytime. And the questions they asked. Well, one of the things that they needed is to prove that you could support yourself when you're in the UK. All right? I showed a bank statement, a joint bank statement, and that's the problem with all the Dominicans. Although, listen, I told people that I present, because one of the things on the form is that you have to tell them your source of income. Right? If you don't have no source of income, where you get money from to be able to travel to the United Kingdom. Right? So I'm self-employed, but via a company. Every time I do work, I use my company, Johnson & Halls. I'm 100% shareholder, owner of the company. When my wife decides she wants to stop working for people, she'll come and work with me. And she'll get shares in the company. No, it's mine. So they need to know your annual income. They need to know everything. Where you getting money, any money you getting, where you getting it from. So if I am self-employed via my company, I have to also show my company details. Because that's the company that pays me a salary. Not a salary, but I mean, that's the company that I get earnings from. But some people running with it. Oh, you just showed company statement and not testament. Assholes. I provided my bank statement too. But I went further by saying, you know what, these people are going to ask, okay, you self-employed, where you getting the money from? I provided a bank statement for my company. Foolish people. You get me upset. Because you don't realize what I'm doing, you know. I am not really interested in going to England, you know. Everything I send to Peter Karam is for a reason, okay, you're a Bamsi man. You say, I don't need to be man. I love it. I love London. I'm a brother.
So there you have it. He's eating a lot, so that getting us hungry, right? But the point is, this Dominican and the people of Dominica, they are affected because of decisions that are made by wealthy politicians, by politicians that were elected by the people. Skerrit was warned with the passport issued by the opposition leader there in Dominica. They went on a rampage of selling visas and passports to everybody in Dominica. In the world. The United Kingdom deported an individual from Russia. That same individual came back into the United Kingdom with a Dominican passport. Now, no poor citizen in Dominica can get to England now. Why? As the guy said, you need to prove to the government of the United Kingdom that you're working, that you have income, that you can just support yourself. So you cannot just go and ask somebody to deposit money in your account. You got to show also that while you're in England, you can support yourself. So now the people of Dominica cannot go to England as easy as you think. They cannot go to America as easy as you think. I am not even sure for Canada whether they need a visa for there. Now, France and Martinique are now adding restrictions. And now politicians, they don't listen. In St. Lucia, Alan Chasney warned the government of St. Lucia about this passport thing. They laughed at him. But who suffers? The citizens of St. Lucia, the people suffer, the poorer people. While these politicians can jump on a plane and go to England, go to France, go to America, go to Canada, they can go wherever they want with their diplomatic passes. You, the regular citizens, are stuck in your country. And not only that you are stuck in your country, there is no opportunity. There is no opportunity in the country. A man cutting the road with a weed whacker, victimization, refused to sign his contract for him to make some money to feed his family. Huh? Can he go to England? Can he go to America to look for opportunities, or Martinique or France? So these politicians, brethren, it is time for you to rise up. It is time for you to rise up and send a strong signal to these politicians that they are not your boss. And when you elect them, they must represent you. And that's why I believe there should be a change in the Constitution where we can have amendments on term limits and on recall, the power of you don't like your politician, he's not performing, you can get petitions, sign petitions and get him out of office. Call for a special election. For instance, Prosper and Denry, if he's not representing the people well, the people of Denry should be able to come together, sign a petition, and have elections to be called in Denry only, and remove Prosper, or remove Philip J. Pear, or remove whosoever is not functioning. It is time for St. Lucians to take their country. Take your country back. You have the power, friends. Enough of this nonsense. Emma Hippolyte's private deal, laughing, it's a fun. Half of the people in Soufrière don't know anything about any deal. Port Castries, half of St. Lucians, if not all, don't know anything about any deal. 30-year deal you're talking about on their main port. And just like Jamaica, China is in charge. China owns the port. Since when we have gotten to a place in St. Lucia where we cannot manage our ports? Just now you will privatize the police force? You will sell the police force to Sentinel Security or Guardsmen? What's next? You can't manage your police force? You can't manage the roads? What are you going to do? Privatize the roads? What next? What are you going to sell next? The Castries Grosley Highway? What are you going to sell next? Mr. King's stomach, his belly? What are you going to sell next? Zolako Zobi, Zolako Van Bagay. Anyway, let's take a call because when people control call because the people are the ones who are suffering. The people, the citizens of the country. And some of you are so ridiculous. Some of you are so ridiculous, and you're so you blame Obia for you not voting. You blame Obia because you know it's the Obia why I didn't go vote for Shasday. The Obia stopped me. You guys are so weak that Obia can stop you from voting. Pull up your pants and get your Bible and get on your knees and pray. Ek glaspoe na mun, ek vole bef mun. Caller, you're on the air. Sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Good evening. Good night, Brother Garfield.
Good night, my friend.
And everybody.
Oh, Mr. Murphy.
Oh my goodness. This is the first real laugh I'm having for the day. So thank you very much.
Well, bless your heart, my friend.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, Brother Garfield.
Yes, my friend.
I want to speak to the young people of St. Lucia tonight.
Yeah.
And hopefully there are a few young people listening because there is something I am going to say to them, and hopefully they can understand clearly why their votes matter in the next election.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Alan Chastney come in, and one of the things that he focused on was the young people, especially in the South, in Vieux-Fort, where you had thousands of young people employed with Ojo Labs and ITEL BPO.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as hearsay as this is, I'm going to put a few questions forward again to Philip J. Pierre, who said in campaign mode that he was going to close down Ojo Labs.
Mm-hmm.
Though Ojo Labs is not closed, I have learned that a specific individual has been asked to build a building in Viewport, and people from Viewport will know who I'm speaking of.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's very close to the St. Lucia Labour Party has been asked to put up a building in Viewport or expand a building in Viewport so that Philip J. Pierre can bring in another company, and whilst he tries to close down, or I should ask him the question, is he going to close down Ojo Labs completely to accommodate another call center that does not want Ojo Labs in St. Lucia?
Wow.
Also, and this is for the Labrie, Choiseul, Soufrière, young people in the South. I tell BPO, it is my understanding that I tell BPO was going to expand to the business to Choiseul, where a specific contractor in St. Lucia, businessman, was actually going to be building something for a building for ITEL BPO to house business there. You know how many young people would be employed? I have learned that this has been stopped as well. So I am reaching out to the young people and telling them to vote for your future. Vote for employment. Do not vote for $5 from a politician. Vote for your future and vote to create a sense of independence for yourself. This is crazy that this is happening in St. Lucia and no one is talking about it. Nobody is talking about this. So you will close down existing companies to bring in a company, just copying what Chastney had done to say that you did it.
That's foolishness.
Does that make sense?
Doesn't make sense to me.
Does that make sense?
Not at all.
So I'm going to ask Philip Pierre the question, is this what you're doing, Philip J. Pierre? Is this what you are doing? That is one. I'm going to move on to many people in St. Lucia believe, for some strange reason, that we'll have an election in the next 3 years.
I don't believe that.
I'm going back to the Skerrit strategy.
Mm-hmm.
If we look at the neighboring islands, most of the islands, the leaders are having early elections. After 2 years, into 3 years, they're having elections. St. Lucia is next, you know. And I'll tell you why. I look around me and see the SLP campaigning.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight there was a town hall meeting for Castries North, Castries Central, Castries East, and Castries South East, I think. I looked at the numbers for a little bit, not too many people. However, the SLP is campaigning. Mm-hmm. And the only reason why the SLP would be campaigning is because we will have an election in short time. Mm-hmm. So I am pleading to St. Lucians to get our IDs in order, mm-hmm. because we will have an election before 5 years. And there are a lot of people who don't believe it because they think of, those MPs would never want to give up their power now, etc., etc.
But that's what they were going to announce in Miku.
I'm happy you're aware of it. It was going to be announced, apparently. However, I think hearsay, and I don't do hearsay, but hearsay has it.
It's okay, hearsay.
He was told not to make the announcement because after doing a survey, whatever survey that was. I don't even want to mention the survey, but if we're smart enough, we'll know which survey.
Yeah.
After doing a survey, they realized that they would have lost the election.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, I can say what survey, this census thing that was going around and people were being asked all these questions.
Mm-hmm.
These census people were also part of that survey for the SLP. Okay, so when they realized that they were not going to win an election, Pierre's big announcement was that they were going to go back to campaign mode and go in all the communities, in all the trenches, he said. Okay, back to the communities, they're going back to work. They are already campaigning. Yeah. We need to pay attention to the strategy of the SLP. We need to stop fooling ourselves in St. Lucia. We are going to have an early election in St. Lucia. Whether people believe it or not, it will happen. Now, St. Lucians, I know, who's going to be our representative, etc. You will get a rep and you will vote.
That's right.
And you better vote because you better vote, cast that vote this time around. The 51% who stayed home, get out and cast that vote this time around because you do not want Philip J. Pierre and the SLP to be governing St. Lucia in the manner, to continue to govern St. Lucia in the manner that they are. I will bring up again the amount of borrowed monies by this government and the lack of work, etc., that is going on in this country. And I will ask the question again, where is that money? The budget cycle for 2021, budget cycle for 2022, where has that money gone? We need to pay attention to these things. St. Lucia is in a lot of trouble. We are feeling the pinch. We are the ones who literally paying off our government debts right now because this government has no innovation and they cannot do anything. Now, I will touch on something I heard at the political meeting tonight because I didn't listen to the entire thing.
Oh, it was live?
Yes.
Okay.
But just to touch on something, and I can mention the MP's name, Richard Frederick said, and that is to show you how wicked and the strategy of deceit that the SLP is using. They are going to be building houses, big buildings for houses in Casabah. That's what he said. The only government that has ever built houses in St. Lucia for the people is the SLP, the Labour government. Really, Richard Frederick? When Richard Frederick came into governance this time around, what did he do? St. Lucians, may I remind you that this man and Philip J. Pierre and their government, they shut down all the housing projects that had already started in St. Lucia, where St. Lucians would have gotten themselves a house, at least a house to live in. And these houses, they were catering for the normal person who holds a normal job in St. Lucia. He shut down those projects and said it was illegal. When the journalist asked him, what is illegal about this? He said that the projects had no DCA approval. All of the projects had DCA approval. So they shut it down. And now they're coming to say that they're the only ones who will be building houses for St. Lucians in St. Lucia. This is the deceit that these people use on St. Lucians.
And what do you mean? Those houses, Those houses are those things they have in Denver, the 3 shacks?
Well, so far, I guess that's what they've delivered, but they're promising now buildings in Casaba.
So what? They changed their mind from building the condos at cul-de-sac?
The part I got was Richard Cedric mentioning Casaba. Okay?
Confused
Casaba.
government, pay-as-you-go government.
Okay. So this whole promise, and no delivery. Promise, and no delivery. May I remind St. Lucians that Aaron Chasney delivered 5 for 5. He may not have gotten to delivering St. Jude's.
Yeah.
We must remember we had COVID.
Yeah.
We must remember something happened in St. Lucia under Kenny Anthony, and they asked him to go and get his financial house in order. St. Lucia's financial house in order.
Yeah.
We must remember that Chasney had to come in and get the financial house in order before he could have started anything. And when he started, the amount of work that was happening in St. Lucia, and it was going to be beneficial to St. Lucians if we had not, and not we, because I didn't, if St. Lucians had not voted the SLP government in, St. Lucia would have been in a different place today. We would be happy working. Our tax, our VAT may have been brought down by another 2.5% by now. We would not have had a 2.5 levy. We would have had a St. Jude's hospital, a proper hospital that would be insured, that we would have the services. We'd have the Cayman Islands medical people down here, and they would not have gone to Barbados because Barbados is taking everything away from us.
Rightfully so.
They didn't take it. Mere Motley did not take it away from us. Let me just rephrase that statement. Because the SLP came in and refused to continue the work that Alan Chasney had started, Mere Motley saw it fitting to take all what was going to St. Lucia to Barbados, and Bajans are very happy about it.
And guess what? I have a Bajan doctor right here in the house with me for the next few weeks. So I'll have a conversation with her.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Where we in St. Lucia are now suffering and feeling labor pains. Literally, we're going through labor pains in St. Lucia.
Yeah.
So I am speaking to St. Lucians. Do not think we're not going to have an early election, because we will. They are campaigning as we speak.
Yeah.
They are campaigning. So prepare ourselves to go to the polls, because Philip J. Pierre is going to pull a scarlet strategy on St. Lucia.
I pray that he pull it.
I wish he had pulled it at the meeting.
Oh yeah.
The victory celebration.
I would have been in St. Lucia for the next 6 months. I would be in St. Lucia now, so for 6 months.
Because he would have lost miserably. And you know what? If the 51% of people who did not vote are sensible enough this time around to go out there and cast their vote, against this wicked government, we are going to see some light happen in St. Lucia, but we cannot wait for another 3 years.
You know what is sad with this whole calling of election, caller? A majority of UWP people, I guarantee you, do not have their ID. I am living in the United States. I have my St. Lucian ID. St. Lucians, go and get your IDs before they confuse the system and they tell you it will take you 6 months to get one ID. Go now and get your ID. Some of you sit down at home under the breadfruit tree, ain't doing nothing, watching people business. Go get your ID. I got it, IDs.
They're going to do the same thing that they did with the passport office. Look at what's going on with traveling around the world now and St. Lucia.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, like Mr. Ellis was saying, and the young man who called earlier, the bigger countries have their reasons for now imposing visas on us. Because if you're going to sell our passports to Russians and Iranians and Saudis and whatever out there, whoever is out there, because you want some money, you're literally prostituting your country for money, because that is prostitution, really.
Yeah.
And then your country is losing out on what the opportunities that the Western world could provide for the younger people, for school, for work, for a lot of different things, to change their lives completely and come back to St. Lucia and give back to St. Lucia.
Yeah.
And young people, when we have one young man who's the attaché to Ernest Hilaire, and I will say it because it's the truth, who holds 5 positions in St. Lucia. 5. One young man holding 5 positions in St. Lucia. That young man is a child of one of his best friends who has been given a consultancy position or contract with government, big contract with a government department. Okay? And this child is the same child getting the Chevening scholarship to go to study in England.
Yeah.
Young people, look at what's happening to you all. Scholarships should be for children their parents cannot really afford to send them to university. It's helping people.
Yeah.
But we see the people who are getting scholarships, and it's surely not the young child from Vieux-Fort where her mom, is from a single parent family, or just her mom, or just her dad, or just his dad, or whatever. These are not the people who are getting those scholarships. See who the scholarships are going to, the good scholarships are going to.
Yeah, those that.
How many scholarships are our children getting right now?
Well,
St. Lucians, open
goes
your
to
eyes.
those who can afford.
Exactly. It goes to those party hacks, campaign people, the best friends of the MPs, their children. These are where the scholarships are going. So young people, I am asking you to open your eyes. You had a prime minister in Alan Chasney who came and did something in Vieux-Fort that your 25 years, Kenny Anthony, MP, the person who represented you and who was the prime minister of St. Lucia never did in the way of creating jobs for the young people in Vieux-Fort, in the south, Micoud, in the south of the island, where you were getting paid anywhere between $2,500 to $4,500 a month. Did you ever receive that under Kenny Anthony? No, you did not. No, you did not. We saw a new state-of-the-art hospital being built. And I say sorry, but COVID did have something to do with it not being finished in that term. You saw a new airport, international airport, being built.
Yeah.
Your water catchment area, which was some people in bands and in certain places in the south never got pipe-borne water. Alan Chasney came in and extended that dam and ensured that a lot of you in the south get pipe-borne water at your homes. Yeah. Have you forgotten these things, St. Lucia?
Yeah.
Have you forgotten? And if we have to go around St. Lucia, I can go through all the work that Alan Chasney has done in this island. And I say in 3 years because COVID took 2 years from his 5-year stint. The reason why Alan Chasney is feared so much by the SLP is because no other prime minister And I love Sir John. The late Sir John, I have lots of respect. He's the father of the nation. No other prime minister in St. Lucia has ever started this amount of work, projects, things to bring St. Lucia forward and create jobs for people in the history of politics in St. Lucia. Look at Soufre, transformed. Look at Deriso, new roads, new field, parks. Look at Mikud, a new health center. Roads were being done. There was work going on in Mikud. The same Gale they said who did nothing. It is there. It is there for us to see. Look at Dennery. There were things happening in Dennery with the fisheries complex and also with the drainage, etc. Este had started doing his work. As for Guy Joseph, I need not even speak of Guy Joseph. When he was doing all the roads all around St. Lucia, people don't eat roads. But Stevenson King will open his mouth tonight at a meeting and say, oh, the roads in St. Lucia are deplorable. It's a total mess. When the roads were being fixed, rehabilitated, rebuilt, you know what the slogan was? People don't eat roads. Stevenson King needs to be ashamed of himself. Millennium for 5 years under the UWP government was not touched and was not finished. And now he is saying that roads, they've never seen roads in such a deplorable condition, like it was the UWP who left the roads in such a deplorable condition. Stevenson King need to be ashamed. In fact, you know what? I was going to use an S word, but let me stop. Stevenson King need to be flogged publicly on the square.
Yeah, king of the road.
For the statements that he makes about the roads, he needs to be flogged publicly on the square. We look at around St. Lucia, the amount of work. Look at Ancillary. Ancillary was already being transformed under the UWP. Have you ever seen anything happen in Ancillary under the Labour Party government? No, not a thing. Not a thing. Choiseul, a hotel was supposed to be coming up. So more jobs would have been created. And also a huge call center. So everything is there for us to go and see. The same way I can find out, St. Lucian, stop sitting there and listening to deceit, lies and deceit. Open your eyes to what was really happening in St. Lucia and where we were going. And what you, the 51% who did not vote, created and let happen in St. Lucia because you don't want to take the blame. I am sorry, but I have to say it as it is. Because if those persons went to vote, these people went to vote, we would have not been under a St. Lucia Labour Pains party right now. We would not be experiencing the St. Lucia Labour Pains right now. So I am asking people, I am begging that people do the right thing in the upcoming elections. And elections will be sooner rather than later.
Yes. Yes, we look forward to it.
There's much more to be spoken of, but I'm going to give somebody else, if somebody else is trying to call, Brother Garfield.
Yes, we had one more call coming in. We're going to take one more call. And I just want to inform our viewers that we just banned red wine or white wine, whatever.
Oh,
white swine or red swine, whatever it is, we block. Yeah, that person was I just saw the disrespect and I blocked them. I hope that they will not be back. All right, let me get off the line. Okay then. Thank you so much. Let me get off the line so the person can call. Good night, everyone. Thank you. Blessings. Thank you for your thank you so much. Okay, so we have one more call coming in. My caller, you can call back. We have a caller that was calling in on the platform. I didn't realize I had a lot of calls from Martinique. Jazzy, where are you? Yes, we have a call that was coming in early. I'm just waiting for it, folks. I'm going to ask my friend to call back. Yeah, hybrid warfare. Our earlier caller was right. All right, so we're just waiting for one more call, friends, and we're going to dismiss. All right, so we're not getting that call in, but folks, listen to me. You guys, those of you who are under the sound of my voice, you do not have your ID, then right now you're just a talker. If you are under the live and you are not registered to vote, then you're just a talker. And you are a contributor to the Philip J.P. administration being in power. Now, he just lost a vote with the guy who went and did the nonsense for him. That's one that he lost. And he keep losing them. And if you listen carefully, you would discover that, okay, I knew. My loving duck mother, how thee?
How are you, sweetheart? Your caller didn't call, so I said, let me call in.
Yes.
Because I have something I wanted to read to your callers that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, talk to me.
I'm not your caller, to your platform tonight.
Yes.
That you mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that came out, and this information was sent to me. It says that the United States has confirmed that all countries in the world, in order to establish good relations with the great powers, must accept same-sex marriage, woman, man. There are currently 34 countries where same-sex marriage is legal. Andorra, Argentina, Australia, Austria, Belgium, Brazil, Canada, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Cuba, Denmark, Ecuador, Finland, France, Germany, Iceland, Ireland, Luxembourg, Malta, Mexico, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Portugal, Slovenia, South Africa, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Taiwan, the United Kingdom, the United States of America, and Uruguay. Mm-hmm. Germany has just signed a law that declares that there is no more incest. That is to say, brother and sister can get married, mom and son, dad and daughter. The city of Miami is now proclaimed the city of purchase of public sex. That means on the way to any place, a mosque, church, the market, a football field. If you need sex, you can enjoy it anywhere, anytime, without any problem.
Oh no!
Canada has allowed bestiality, sex with animals. In Spain, pornographic films are allowed in high school and universities. The authorization of prostitution of minors is given. Mark Lucas states that any young girl at the age of 10 who feels sexual pleasure should be able to find out how her body works. Finally, the USA allowed satanic churches to be open publicly. Now, Garfield, you see what is happening in the big countries, as you say. The big countries do their thing, and they expect us little people to follow.
That's right.
You realize that all the countries that have done this, the Caribbean islands are not there. Caribbean islands are fighting back. I recalled that in Jamaica, the British diplomat, who's the consulate to Jamaica, came with his partner, a man with hairy chest, dressed in a dress, walking in as his wife. I was working for DFID, the Department of Foreign and Community Development of the United Kingdom. I was working for them, as head of the government in Montserrat.
Yeah.
And I was put in a difficult position where I had to recruit a technical cooperation officer and his wife, which is a male. And I had to make all the arrangements like a public. This is in Montserrat. So while the government have not publicly signed things, those big countries are forcing things down and passing it on to the little. This is why you saw this discussion on DBS where it's coming up that want to bring those things, introduce them into our schools. I don't hate people.
Yeah.
I hate the wrong that they do, the sin. I do not advocate for violence against anybody. God made all of us are God's children. He made them. But if we stand up for what we know is not right according to the word of God, and we call ourselves Christians, we want to compromise, we want to twist it, we want to make it better, we are heading for a very serious and dangerous place.
Yes.
And that is one of the reasons when we have a godless state, we see what is happening in this country. We call ourselves a Christian nation. But look at what? A killing, a shooting in Cicerone tonight, a stabbing by the fire department in Castries this evening.
What?
Killings. People don't care. Yes, people don't care. Life has become like chewing gum and spitting it out. We have lost all respect and decency, and we don't have government that is taking a role, is setting the moral thermometer, is setting the moral example, is standing up there and being an example. All the young people, other people are seeing, it's greed, it is self-interest, it is me first, it's my comrade first, it is who that is for me. Why we Flabos stand for Alan Chastney, and we loved Sir John, and I always said that I have been one of his strongest, I was one of his disciples with him. But I always, as much as I admired his vision, there was always something for me. I wanted him to be a little more moral because I hated all the things that were writing about him. And God blessed us and gave us a man who does not need St. Lucia per se, but he loves this country. I'm not going to put rats to watch cheese. The man have already, just like Sir John had, so he was there for the country. He has the vision. He is a moral man in that he stands with one wife. He's not running around cheating, sleeping with young girls, in here and there in all scandal and bacchanal. He shows the example of being a good father. That sets an example for our men, because our men are dying. Our men have lost their way. They have lost direction because the nation is godless. And people don't want you to talk about God. They don't want you. They think you're holy. Now, my goodness, I am worse than Paul. If it was not for God, but God, I don't know where I would be today. And I'm proud to speak about God and say, because it makes me love and care for my fellow men. I love Alan Chastney for the vision he has for St. Lucia, the morality that he stands for, the example that he gives to a nation. What is wrong with us that we cannot see that this was better? Take a look at the other side. What do we have there? Is this what we want? Are we better off? Like the caller said a while ago, did we do better instead of just giving him a chance and let the COVID, because COVID prevented him from doing what he had to do, instead of just giving him the chance to do it, we took him off. My goodness, can't we learn to speak up now and say we made a mistake? Now it's time that we put our country back in this place, and yes, put God back in our nation, in our schools, in our homes, in our churches, because the churches themselves, I don't know what happened to them. Bring God back so that our nation can start breathing again. Garfield, I love you. I love all of my football family. And I wish that our people will ponder and think about what I read tonight and spread it around. If we share and we talk, this is going to help. We need to raise our voices. We need to stand. We need to show. We need to stop being fearless. I'm fearful. We need to be fearless, because we have a God who says to us, when these people were marching for civil rights, like Martin Luther, they didn't care. If I lose my life, to lose it for God is a good thing. I am fearless, and I will stand when they call. Okay, Garfield? Amen. So you guys have a blessed time.
Yeah, I love you very much. Take care, Mom. So there you have it, Dr. Fletcher, folks. Our last caller for the night. So, folks, I want you to enjoy the rest of your night. We've come to the end of our program. I know you want. I know who you want. You want your Prime Minister. Let's give you a Prime Minister as you leave, all right?
I mean, a big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people. A big story. Philip J. Pierre attacked elderly people and tell. I mean, a big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people. A big story. Philip J. Pierre attacked elderly people and tell. I mean, a big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people. A big story. Philip J. Pierre attacked elderly people and tell. I mean, a big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people. A big story. Philip J. Pierre attacked elderly people and tell. I mean, a big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people. A big story. Philip J. Pierre attacked elderly people and tell. I mean, a big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people. A big story. Philip J. Pierre attacked elderly people and tell. I mean, a big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people. A big story. Philip J. Pierre attacked elderly people and tell. A big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people. A big story. Philip J. Pierre attacked elderly people and tell. I mean, a big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people. A big story. Philip J. Pierre attacked elderly people and tell. I mean, a big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people. A big story. Philip J. Pierre attacked elderly people and tell. I mean, a big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people. A big story. Philip J. Pierre attacked elderly people and tell. I mean, a big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people. A big story. Philip J. Pierre attacked elderly people and tell. I mean, a big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people. A big story. Philip J. Pierre attacked elderly people and tell. I mean, a big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people. A big story. Philip J. Pierre attacked elderly people and tell. I mean, a big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people. A big story. Philip J. Pierre attacked elderly people and tell. I mean, a big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people. A big story.
Okay, folks, before we get a big story, good night to you all. And let's look out for that big story tomorrow on the ETIS visa requirement for all French citizens. Let's say what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know. Huh? Why is me on? Go ask Shazzy. Just now, Philip J. Pierre is going to tell you all to ask Shazzy. Until then, Belle Lesh. All right? A big story. A big story. Tomorrow. You'll have a big story.
A big story. J. Pierre attacked elderly people and tell. I mean, a big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people.
Folks, see you all. And remember, go and get your IDs. Go and get your IDs. See you all. Blessings. All right. I'll see if we can do a live in the morning. All right. So see you. All right. Good night, everybody. Have a beautiful night. May the Lord bless you and keep you. And may he cause his face to shine upon you and give you peace in your homes. Peace wheresoever you go. Blessings.